Ah, not again. Hi everyone, and welcome to the Sawickipedia. Recently, our washing machine has been complaining that the auto dispenser is not working correctly. So today we're going to try and figure out why. Now, I've already removed the drawer here, which is pretty simple. You just push down on this button and then you can slide the drawer out completely. And I've already gone through and sort of cleaned everything up. Now, if your drawer looks something like this, you should be able to just lift these tabs up and the lid should come off. And that way you can get in there and clean everything out. I'd just use like an old towel or a rag or something. And make sure you just clean out all these areas here. Make sure there's no blockages. Once that's done, the next step is to look at this rear part here. So in this is two motors. You can sort of see the outline of part of the motors here. And there's also a connector on the back. I'd recommend just spraying some 99% isopropyl alcohol into these connectors and then just cleaning them out with like an old toothbrush or something just to make sure the connector there is clean, because there could be an issue where if the connector is not clean, it's not going to register properly when it's put into the washing machine, and it's not going to tell the motors to pump the washing liquid fluid or whatever, or the fabric softener. So that'd be the first step. If that's all well and good, the next step is going to be to actually take this mechanism off. Now you can see on the back that there are 4 screws, 2 on either side, so they're just Phillips head screws. So let's undo those. And once they're taken off, you should be able to just pull this part off. And there are a couple of washers that sit in the back of here, so make sure they're still intact and all clean, and also make sure these holes at the back here are all cleaned out and don't have any washing machine liquid or gunk built up in them. If that's all good and it still doesn't work, the next step is to open this up and take a look inside. Now it does have 4 smaller Phillips head screws, so we're just going to remove these and take a peek inside. Now this might be a little bit tricky to get off. There are 2 clips at the front here and 1 on either side. So you just need to sort of pry those clips, or at least the plastic, off around those clips. If you sort of get one side up and pop up the front of that same side, it should start to pop off. And then you should be able to get the others off fairly easily. Watch me now struggle with this. What we want to look for in here is any other blockages or signs of damage. So everything looks pretty good. All the wires look to be intact. I think this part will also lift off if you just sort of carefully lift that out. And you can also check, make sure that none of the wires back here have any corrosion or anything like that. This one appears to be okay. So I'm satisfied that the wiring in this is good. Oh, and these little things will likely just fall out. So they're just little sort of rubber stoppers, rubber gaskets. You just need to position them. They're quite slippery, with the flat side facing towards this flat piece here. They'll sit in place properly once you put the cover back on. So yeah, everything looks clean inside there. Nothing much to report. So in that case, we're going to dig a little bit deeper. I'm just going to lift these wires out of this channel here, and this should lift off. Oh, and that's probably the problem here. That is all rusty and crusty. Ew. Well, it looks like, I'm guessing this rubber, even though it looks intact, must have allowed some water to creep in there, and that has just settled around the motor and rusted everything. Let's just remove the other side, see how that looks. Yep, same deal. Yeah, that's probably a problem. I dare say, like, The electrical connections still look good on the motor, but dare I say the actual motor is seized up due to all that rust getting in there, and it's likely made its way inside the motor. So there's not a lot we can do about this. I mean, I could try and pull out the motors and clean them out, try and get them running again, but I don't know if it's going to be worth it. I mean, eventually water's going to get back in there and cause more havoc. So what's plan B? In this case, we're going to replace it. Normally I like to repair things, but I think that's a little bit too far gone. So what I've done is ordered a replacement motor assembly. Now you can find these at certain spare parts stores. Basically what I did was look up this model number here and ordered it where I found it, which is a local supplier in Australia. Obviously, if you're overseas, Google that part number that's on the top of your motor assembly if you need to replace it, and search for a replacement. Now this did end up setting me back about 150 Australian dollars, which I wasn't too thrilled about, but what can you do? Let's see what we got. Hope it's the right bloody thing. That looks like it. Let's check that model number. DC9717543. This one says A, this one says B. So maybe this is a revised version that doesn't leak and destroy itself, but time will tell, I guess. Cool. Well, that's pretty simple then. These parts here are slightly different. This one has like a ridge. Hoping that's not going to be a problem. Connector looks the same. Everything else looks the same. Let's see if it will fit. So remember that we have to have these washers in place. I might just check these, because obviously they didn't come with this motor assembly. So I want to make sure they look okay, which they do. Well, hopefully this will just fit on. It's hard to see through these little grates here, but it doesn't look like that washer's got caught anywhere. Can't see it sticking around in the back there, so it seems pretty secure. I guess we'll stick this back together and test it out. Now, when you're putting screws back into plastic, it's always a good idea to twist the screw counterclockwise until you feel it drop back into the original thread. Plastic threads will just get stripped if you don't line up the original thread properly. All right, well, looks like I've got some washing to do. We also want to make sure these two tabs at the front go back into their little slots in the drawer assembly. Like that. I'll go fill this up and give it a test run. All right, so I ran it through another cycle and the auto dispense seemed to work just fine with the liquid, and it also worked fine with the fabric softener, and the cycle completed successfully, so I'd call that a win. Now, I did go ahead and pull out these motors while it was doing that, just so I could have a closer look. And yeah, I don't think there's any coming back from that. Nothing that I'm really willing to do anyway. I think, as I said before, I think the top seals have let water in. There is also seals at the bottom, but yeah, I think it's the top seals that have perished, or not even perished, they just didn't seal properly. So yeah, 150 bucks down, but at least we avoided like a call out fee, because that washing machine is massive and there ain't no way I'm taking it anywhere. So yeah, you win some, you lose some. Definitely saves us buying a new washing machine or an expensive call out fee. So Hopefully this video can do the same for you, or if you were just interested in this kind of stuff, I hope you enjoyed it. If you want to see more of this kind of thing, I do a lot of repairs on the stuff behind me there, so yeah, check out the retro channel if you're interested. Until next time, a massive thanks for watching. You can subscribe and like, that would be appreciated. And leave any comments, let me know if you have found the same issue with your washing machine. And yeah, you can always buy me a coffee on Ko-Fi or whatever you like. Yeah, hope I saved you some money anyway, and thanks for watching. Bye.